And we'll come to standing, and we'll do some standing movements first. So let's do some shoulder rotations. So find your balance, your point of balance, feet hip distance wide. And I don't know if this is going to help with when we find our feet on the kickboard in the rowing machine, but I jump, and wherever I land is my good point of balance, because we instinctively land on our feet, which is the best point of balance for us, the strongest point for us. So yeah, the distance of the feet. And so then when you lift your toes up and place them on the earth one by one, you kind of get a really good connection between all edges of your feet and the ground. And if you bend your knees and you sort of push your weight into your feet, you can really feel the power, and your thighs really connect here. So this, for me, is a really powerful way to find my sort of strongest stance. Let's rotate our shoulders, rolling backwards. So we'll do a few going back. So really shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them away. A couple more, and then we'll switch direction and we'll roll the shoulders forwards. So make these movements, these circles, as large as you can. Shh, pure. And then let's stop there for a moment. Let's take the left ear and drop it down towards the left shoulder. Place your right hand on your left ear, like bring out your arm here. So the angle that you want to bring out your arm is that you feel a stretch from the side of your neck along the right side, shoulder and arm. So if you have it too close to your body, there's not enough weight on that arm. If you have it too sort of parallel to the earth. So it's about having it at this sort of 45-degree angle here, and your arm will feel heavy. And if your arm doesn't feel heavy, move around the angle. And then let's bring our head to center. Reach up with that right arm and then rotate it. Big circles in one direction. Maybe watch out for the wall behind you. And then let's rotate forward. Keep this sensation of reaching through the fingertips. So this will extend the arm and extend the flow of kind of that directional energy that we want to create, that's kind of moving out from our body. Let's bring the right ear to the right shoulder now. Danny, you can do the exercises as well, you know. And take the right hand to the left ear to add a little bit of weight. And again, let's bring out this left arm at a 45-degree angle so that it feels heavy. Play around with it if you need. That's too high, Danny. You're not going to feel the weight there. And back to center, release the head, and then big circles with the left arm. So backward stroke first, and then the forward stroke. And let's go forward. Okay, so let's release that. Right. So let's open out the arms here, palms facing forward, then turn the right palm, turn the right palm back. We're trying to do some professional training here. And then take the right hand to the middle of your back, wherever it reaches. Keep that left arm out for the moment. So the back of your hand is on your kind of middle of your shoulder blades. And then reach the left arm up. And then reach behind with the left arm towards the right arm. Your hands will either connect or take hold of your t-shirt. The left elbow is reaching up, and that right hand on your upper back is moving up towards that space in between the shoulder blades. So most of us, depending on which is your dominant arm, so I'm right-handed, so my muscles on my right arm are definitely bigger than the left, so I have less space to move here. And then bring out the left arm, keep the palm facing forward. Bring out the right arm, keep the palm facing back for the moment. This is just to protect that, so we don't switch it, and then switch your palms forward. And then big circles and bend deeply into your knees. And then let's go in the other direction. So you're doing squats here as you circle with the arms. And then let's do this to the other side. So arms out again, palms face forward. This time we're going to take the left hand behind us, back of the left hand to the middle of the shoulder blades. Reach up with the right arm. And then reach behind with the right hand to take hold of either your t-shirt or your left fingertips here. So immediately you can see on me, I have a little bit more space on this side. So take hold of your t-shirt or interlace your fingers. Reach up with the right shoulder, right elbow, and that left hand moving towards the middle of the shoulder blades. So these are some shoulder movements to help us have a little bit of mobility here. Right, let's release the hands. So bring out the right hand, palm facing forward for the moment. Release the left hand, keep the palm facing back, and then switch the left palm. And then let's create circles. We're going to go in both directions, reaching through the fingertips. And then let's reverse the circles. So now my arms are moving inwards. And we should already be feeling quite a lot of a bit of a warming up. Let's take the right arm across the body, left hand in front of the right arm. Relax the shoulder here. So the tendency is to hitch the shoulder up towards the ears. Keep the top of the shoulder down and away from the right ear. And draw the right forearm in with the left hand. Three more breaths here. And let's release that arm and take the left arm across the body. And again, mindful of what's happening with that left shoulder so that it's not creeping up towards the left ear. And use the right hand against the left forearm to create some resistance here, reaching out through the fingertips. And Dan, I think after this, we're going to be ready for our first ab exercise. So we're moving into week 3 on our ab exercises chart. It's definitely harder because I was struggling to do it earlier when we had a little practice at lunchtime. Let's release that arm. Okay, shake it all out. All right, Dan, should we come down to the earth? What's first? Can you tell me?
Yeah, let me get rid of this dog.
So week 3. So Danny's printed this off for me. So if you got the photos, I think they're in the WhatsApp group. Danny sent it, but this is the chart for week 3. Okay, Dan. So we come down to the earth.
I told you, ankles not high.
Is it sit-ups?
Yeah, just sit up.
So sit-ups first. So if you want to place your feet underneath a bit of furniture or the radiator, or if you're like me and you have a Victorian house, you'll have big gaps underneath the door. So you could even slide your feet under the door.
That's hard.
Yeah, maybe. So come down to the earth. Dan, talk us through, please.
Arms straight next to you.
Arms lined alongside us. Engage the core, press through the 4 corners of your feet. Inhale, rise up. Arms reaching forward like zombie arms. So we keep zombie arms here. If you haven't got a helper, use some furniture. 4, keep the navel engaged. 5, we're going to do 15.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to do 2 sets. In your home practice of the core work, you can do 3 sets. And you can do either 10, 15, or 20, depending on how. This session is for us to sort of become familiar with it. Where are we now, Dan? 9. And when you come back to the earth, avoid landing with a great big thump and uncurl your spine slowly onto the floor. So that way you're controlling this release back to the earth.
That's 12,
12, 13, 14, and 15. I think that's the perfect amount. So let's stay seated upright now. So when you come up, stay upright. We're going to do a seated twist here. So in between each set, we're going to do a little bit of yin stretching. So your feet are hip distance wide here. Place the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Reach up with the left arm and then turn your head to gaze behind you and bring the left hand behind you. So this is a gentle twist. Your right hand is on the left knee, or you can turn your palm out and have the back of your forearm or elbow on the outside of that left knee. And then this creates a bigger opening and a deeper twist. So here we're engaging the core muscles and the lats here and creating this deep twist here. So the reason we're doing some of these additional stretches is obviously to strengthen and to give us added protection to avoid some of the injuries that we might get from that very rigorous rowing that we do. Inhale, turn your head back to center first, and then follow with your chest. Take a moment in center, and then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So again, take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, reach up with the right arm, and then reach behind. The reason we create height before reaching back is that it helps us to just create more length and more distance. Otherwise, if we just reach back, our hand isn't reaching as far. So we maximize the length before we turn. And again, that left hand is on the outside of the right knee, or you can bring the back of the left elbow, left forearm to the outside of the right knee, gazing behind you over your right shoulder. Deep breaths here. And I think I might do a breath practice with you. There's a three-part breath, three-part yogic breath that is really good for maximizing and teaching us how to maximize the air that we take into our lungs. And it's like a three-part ladder. So we'll do that in a little while. Breathing deeply into the abdomen. Down, we're going to be ready for our next set here now. Turn head back to center, followed by your heart or your chest. And then again, place your hands underneath a bit of furniture if you need that support there. Flat on the earth with your back. Engage your core. And then inhale to rise up. So sit-ups. We'll do 15 again. 3. Normally when I practice yoga, the dogs are very chilled out because I'm actually doing some sort of proper vigorous exercise thing. The dogs are all excitable. 7. 8. 9. Remember to land very gently on the ground when you return. 11. 12. 13. 14. And 15. Let's stay seated here and then hug your knees and drop your head down to your knees. Round your shoulders here. So we're parting the shoulder blades, protracting the shoulder blades away from each other. So still working on the shoulder blades here. What's up next, Dan?
Your favorite.
My favorite.
No leg raises.
My favorite. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's release that. I think we might take another moment before we move into leg raises. Extend the legs long. This will make me. Let's extend the legs long. Reach up, and we're going to hinge forward from the hips to come into a forward fold. Your knees can have a soft bend in them, or they can be extended. But what you don't want to do is lock your knees out. So we want to keep a softness about the knees, lengthen, and then reach forward as far as you can go, and then let your hands rest on your legs, on the ground. You might be able to reach your feet. So here the idea is to like bring the chest down towards the knees and reach the top of the head, the crown, towards the feet. The more you flex your feet here, you will feel the engagement of your hamstrings. Three full breaths here in your forward fold. And then to rise up, unfurl your spine one vertebra at a time. So walk your hands back towards your body, and then your chin and head will be the last to come up. Okay, we're going into leg raises, which was horrible. I did it earlier, and it was not as bad as them. Okay, so come onto the ground with your forearms on the earth, palms face down, and then engage your core, and then lift your legs. Sort of how far off the earth?
This much.
Which is about what? How many inches?
About 4 or 5.
4 or 5 inches, and then high. Oh, I see. We don't bring them back to the earth.
No,
I thought we only had to go that far. Actually, that's where we start. Your feet are hitting the camera down.
yeah,
And then, so keep the feet off the floor. Lift the legs up. This is really hard work on the core.
Callie,
Yes.
for those of us who are not quite ready to do this, because I find that I put a lot of strain on my back if I'm doing that. Is there a version we could do which is a bit more benign?
Yeah. So yes, there is. So if you lie flat on the ground and then lift your feet and place your hands underneath your lower back, actually here, place your hands palm on top of palm underneath your lower back. So kind of where the tailbone is, the sacrum. And then you can lift your legs here. And because you're supported here, you should feel more support through your upper body and your arms. So try that as a variation.
Yeah, we go back to week 1 of the flow.
Is that working? Yeah, I see thumbs up for that. So,
You're really fine.
So your alternative is lie on the ground, place your hands underneath your lower, at your tailbone, at your sacrum, and then you can lift the feet off the earth, both legs. And you can, when you're lowering them, try not to bring them all the way to the ground so that you're keeping the legs lifted here. I told you this was not a fun week.
Well, we're skipping the other two.
And the other variation here, if you're doing this, is your forearms are on the earth like you're sunbathing, and then you're lifting the legs up and down.
Okay, I think we're 15.
I think we've done 15, everyone. Let's stop for a moment and let's think about what we can do to counteract that. So lie on your backs, if not already, bend into your knees and hug your knees in to your heart. And then maybe gently roll from side to side on your lower back. This will soothe out the lower back here, particularly if you were feeling a little bit of strain or kind of like too much of a strong sensation that you weren't enjoying. And we're going to move into half happy baby here. So extend the left leg long, keep the right knee tucked in, and then the sole of the foot up towards the sky. Keep a deep bend in that right knee. Take your arm through the inside of your thigh to the outside of your foot. The left hand is on the sort of headlamps of your left hip. So the left hand is keeping the left leg down at that sort of where your headlamp is, and the I don't think that's a technical term. It's definitely not an anatomical term, but I can't think of what those bony hip protrusions are called right now. And the sole of the right foot. My dog
Your
just
femur.
farted on my foot. My femur, yeah, the top of my femur. And my dog farted on my foot at the same time.
If you mean the sticky out bit of your hip bone, it's called the anterior superior iliac spine.
Thank you. Thank you, Penelope.
ASIS for short, ASIS.
ACEs. Okay, that bit, you can hold that bit down. Bring the right knee in towards the armpit here. And one more breath here for those of us who weren't looking up in our medical dictionaries. We always forget that we actually have a doctor on board, so I actually better do some research into my anatomical terms. Release the right foot and extend the right leg, and let's bring in the left knee, hug that in, and then take the left foot up to the sky, bend in the left knee, left arm on the inside of the left knee to the outside of that left foot, the little toe side. Now the right hand on your ACEs. Anterior, superior, something. Keep drawing that left knee down. So you're not this is not a passive hold here with half happy baby. You are drawing the knee down towards the armpit. And then let's release that left foot when you're ready. And let's do one more round of this set of leg raises. So 2 options, again, lying on the back, hands underneath the sacrum, one palm on top of the other. So the back of your hand is underneath your sacrum here. And also another thing that helps is to tuck your chin, draw in your navel, and then reach through your toes as you commence your leg raises here. So keep the heels off the ground here. So you're not returning the legs all the way to the earth. You're coming into the sunbathing variation of leg raises with your forearms and hands on the earth behind you. And again, lifting the legs and lowering them. I think we're on 4, maybe. 6, 7, 8, 9. Beginning to feel it. 10, 11, 12, 13, nearly there. 14, and last one, 15.
Well done.
Bring in the knees. Let's go into a double happy baby. So bend into both knees, feet parallel to the sky here, the soles of the feet, and take your hands through the middle of your legs to the outside edge of your foot. You can also do what we call a double wrap. So you take the upper arms through the thighs and then take the lower arms to the outside of the calves. And again, take hold of the outside edge of your feet or your big toes here. And again, the intention here is to bring the knees down towards the earth so that there's resistance between the feet and the hands. Three big breaths left here before we move into our, is it the 3rd set now here? Actually,
Yeah.
before we move into that, let's bring the soles of our feet together. And so that your happy baby is like a butterfly with the soles of the feet together, and rock on your lower back here. This is a really lovely one. I have my hands around the outside of my ankles to help bring the feet together. Right then, let's rise up because I know this is like a sort of.
No, we're gonna skip those two.
Are we?
They're impossible.
What, the L sit?
Yeah, these two are impossible.
Oh no, this one's all right. Side
This one
jackknife.
is nice.
No, let's do the side jackknife.
You're not gonna manage.
Can we try? Let's try the side jackknife, everyone.
You're not gonna manage.
We'll try.
All right.
Okay, let's try. So let's come onto your hip. Come onto whichever hip is facing me. And we're going to come lie on our side, aren't we?
Lower arm on your belly.
And the arm that's underneath, we bring that and place it on our abdomen. The upper arm goes to the back of the head.
Too much.
No, it's not.
It is.
Talk me through it. So the,
That's it.
so the intention is we lift the top leg and we gently lift our shoulders. This is not going to be a big movement for us. It's a very small movement
You
here.
lift the shoulders
So
slightly.
what's happening here
That's wrong.
on the right side of your abdomen, you'll have a compression here at the abdomen. It's not a big compression, it's a gentle
I
compression.
don't like that one.
Danny doesn't like this one. I'm actually using my lower elbow to help me rise up, but I can feel something happening here. And when we get stronger on this one, apparently you can lift your shoulder up completely, but that's some way off. So this right hand, well, the top hand is at the back of the head. And as we lift the top leg, we take the elbow towards the leg. And that action should help us lift that left shoulder off the earth. This is called side jackknife, which I tried for the first time today ever in my entire
I
life.
don't like it.
And I actually like it. Danny doesn't like it. I think this is really good for, I don't know why, I think it just works. Right, how many have we done so far? 10. I think that's enough. Let's roll onto our back here.
I like the next one.
Is everyone okay? Just check everyone's okay. Yeah. All right, take your arms out wide. And then let's place the right ankle. Okay, whichever side you were doing your jackknives on. So if you were doing them on the right side of your abdomen was crunching up, put your right ankle on your left leg. If your left side was crunching up, then put your left leg on your right leg. We're going to come into figure of 4 because we're trying to relieve this here. And what we're going to do here, my friends, is the foot that's on top, we're going to gently release that foot, that top foot down towards the ground so that we extend out through the abdomen, the side, the lateral side, just as close to the ground as it reaches. Not everybody will reach the ground here. So let me explain that again, just because we were doing those jackknives on different sides. The side that we were doing the jackknife on, that foot is the foot that crosses over onto the other leg. And we release that foot down towards the earth so that the extension is felt on the same side that we were doing the crunches. We're doing that today because this is the first time we've done it, so I really wanted you all to see what was happening. Okay. 3 more breaths here in this supine twist, as well as a extension on the side that we were compressing earlier. Inhale back to center, and just before we release, lift the foot that's on the earth and hug it in. So you're really hugging in this figure of 4. This is called a reclined pigeon as well, for those of you who are interested. Hug that knee that was on the knee of the foot that was on the earth here. And you'll feel this deep in the opposite hip. Okay, let's do jackknife crunches on the other side. So come to lie on the opposite side. and your lower arm, you can rest your hand on your abdomen. The top hand, take that to the back of your head so that elbow will reach towards that left foot when you reach it up. And every time you reach, you are as if you're doing a crunch, but it's a side crunch. My shoulder is barely coming off the earth. Literally, the only thing that's coming off the earth on my the bottom shoulder is the fatty bit. Literally my flesh, not my bones, just my flesh. And I think the thing to bear in mind is, where are we feeling this? And if you're feeling this in your side lats here, then that's exactly where you want to be feeling it. If you find that your neck is getting too crunched, then leave a little bit of openness and don't bring that elbow over so much. That will leave some space. How many have we done, Dan?
You're there. 2 more.
We've done almost 10.
15.
We're doing 15.
But you pushing on.
Okay. I'm sorry if
You're done.
Let's stop here. Roll onto your back.
No.
Roll onto your back.
That's it.
And now you know where we're going. We're going to create that figure of 4. So the leg that's on the same side as the crunches, we bring the foot, the ankle onto the opposite knee. Open out the arms in a T shape. And then let's release that top foot down towards the earth so that your twist, your knees are now going in the opposite direction to the side of your abdomen you were crunching. So now what you should feel on the side that you were crunching is an opening and a very, very gentle twist. It's not going to feel intense. And soften here. You can, if your foot's on the earth, you can relax. If your foot doesn't reach the earth, you can always place a cushion underneath the foot, a bolster, a large brick or whatever you have available, so that you can soften if the foot's not reaching the earth. Apparently we have to come out of this now. Danny is keeping an eye on the time for us. We're spending too much time relaxing in between. Let's hug in the knee with the foot that was on the earth and come into our figure of 4. Reclined pigeon. Hug in that knee, that. Okay, now where are we going down, Dan? Oh, this one's brilliant. This is called the dead bug. This was amazing. So this was my favorite of the ones we're doing today. So lie on your backs. Bring your knees so that they're above the hips and your ankles are aligned with your knees. So you created a shelf with your legs. Arms, reach. You want to make sure you have enough room behind you for your arms and enough room for you to stretch your leg out. So just check the space around you. So arms are reaching up. So again, it looks like zombie arms. Okay, so you all got where we're starting. And the intention here is we take, let's start with the right arm. Take the right arm overhead. So the back of the hand comes to the earth over. And at the same time, extend the left leg long as if we're climbing, and then come back to center. And this is where you have to use our brain. And then take the left arm overhead and extend the right arm. But extend the right leg. But the trick here is when we extend the opposite leg to the ground, the tendency is to follow with our same side arm. And we don't want to follow with the same side arm. We just want to keep the one knee and arm in center as we extend the opposite arm and leg away from center. So it does take a little bit of thinking about. Oops, and I'm doing it again. It's almost as if my hand and my knee have an invisible string and all are being pulled towards each other. And really have to think about holding that arm up center. So Danny says we need to speed up a bit.
A little bit, because then you don't have to think so much. Yeah, I see.
Okay, I don't know how many we've done because we're just practicing this.
No, you can do a couple more because it's not easy.
And let's do a few more here. And should we stop now, Dan?
Yeah, I'll do one.
One more on either side. Oops. Oh yeah, that's right. And then come back to center. Bring your feet to the ground. Bring your hands to rest on your abdomen here. And we'll windshield wiper the knees from left to right. So drop the knees gently to the one side, both knees to one side and then the other side. You create a zigzag and you're going to have a space between the feet here. The legs aren't together. There's space between the knees and space between the feet as you zigzag, as you windshield wiper from left to right. So this dead bug is my absolute favorite. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as me. Right, let's do another round of that, Dan.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Okay, people. Lift the feet off the earth. Remember, knees above hips, ankles aligned with knees, arms reaching up, so shoulders, elbows, and wrists are aligned. And the trick is, as we move the opposite arm and leg away, those that are in the middle stay in the middle. Okay, let's take the left arm back this time and right leg extends back to center. And go with your own rhythm. So you're bringing the leg to the ground when you extend it. With time, you can keep this movement without bringing the leg all the way to the earth. And I'm thinking way too hard as I'm doing this. I have no idea how many done. Dan? Okay, let's do another 5 wherever we are. And one more. And come back to center. And again, bring the feet to the ground. Hands rest on your abdomen. And this time, let's bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out. So you come into a butterfly pose here. So this opens up the inner hip flexors. Hands resting in your abdomen, tuck your chin slightly. If this creates a compression in your lower back, which is not feeling great for you, then take your feet as wide as your mat and drop the knees in towards each other. So this is a constructive rest variation or your butterfly variation, depending on what's happening in your lower back. And we're going to take these 3 full breaths that I was talking about earlier, this 3-part yogic breath, so that this will help you to think about breathing deeply and which part of your lungs you're using. So I want you to visualize where the breath is going. If your hands here, have one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. As you take a full breath in, draw the breath right into the abdomen and allow the abdomen to expand. So you can do this lying down or seated, it doesn't matter. So you can stay in your butterfly or constructive rest and then do it. The lower abdomen expands like a balloon to meet the palm. And then the ribs open and chest rises. So when we take a breath in, it's belly, ribs, chest. I'll just talk you through that. When we exhale, So let me take a breath in. Exhale, pull the navel back to the spine. Ribs curl in, chest lowers away from the palm of the hand. Inhaling, belly expands, ribs open, chest rises. Exhaling, navel to the spine, so the belly contracts away from the palm. Ribs curl in, chest lowers gently away from the palm of the hand. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, navel draws in, ribs curl, chest lowers. So your back comes into a very gentle rounding. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest, this expansion. Exhaling, navel draws in, ribs contracting, chest falls away. And when we visualize this movement of the breath, we are using our lungs capacity to a greater extent. Because this visualization of drawing the breath right down towards the belly means we draw the breath down into the bottom of the lungs. And as we expel the air, this contraction starts at the navel and empties the lungs out from the bottom up. So 3-part breath, belly, ribs, chest. On the inhale, exhale, navel in, ribs, chest. And you will feel this movement in the abdomen and the lifting of the rib cage as you breathe in and out here. And the reason for having your hands here is so that you can feel this movement. Inhaling, belly meets the palm, the lower hand. Ribs open, chest rises. And then exhaling, navel draws in, so the belly moves away from the palm of the right hand. Ribs curl into the middle, and the chest moves away from the left palm. Okay, one more breath here. And we've got one last one to do before we chill out completely. Wind, what are these called? Wipes. So you need to have space. So we're going to, if these are wipers with the legs. We did half wipers in week 1, apparently, so this is building up. So what we want to do is have enough space so that when you swing your legs either side of you, you don't want to bump into anything. But you're not going to go all the way down to the earth. Okay, so lying down on the ground, arms in a T shape away from your body. Lift your feet so that your ankles are stacked over your hips here. It should feel like legs up the wall. And then lower the legs over to the left, not too far, into center, over to the right. You don't want to go too far. So we're going to a 45-degree angle then, away from center, aren't we?
A little bit less.
A little bit less, about 30
degrees, I reckon.
Okay, I thought from center down, not from the earth. It's like a thin pizza slice to the left and the right.
45 is too far, I'm saying.
45 is too far, Danny said. So it feels, you have to engage, and it feels like an effort to keep your upper body, your hips and pelvis connected with the ground. Because the hips and pelvis are heavier, the tendency is to sort of roll all the way over. We want to try and keep the weight of the hips and pelvis in the middle. And you should be feeling this in the lower abdominals. How many we've done? We're nearly there.
3 more or so.
3 more. And then we're going to hug the legs in. And we're also going to keep an eye on the time. And last one. And then let's hug the knees in Actually, let's put the feet down. Hugging them in is not helping the abdominals. Let's put the feet flat on the earth here and take a moment. And I'm going to give you a chill out, relaxing yin pose when we finish this. Just a couple of breaths to recover. Maybe you massage your belly one way, then the other way. And then let's come back to center with our legs up in the air, arms out to the sides like a T shape. And then exhale, gently release the legs to one side. Some thin pizza slice. You want to retain the weight and heaviness in the pelvis. So the tendency will be to draw the feet too far over towards the earth. And where you should be feeling this is in the lower abdominals. So if you're not feeling in the lower abdominals, it might be that the angle of your legs up in the air is either too close towards your torso or too far away from your torso. And how many we done, babe? What, 4 more, 5 more?
Yeah,
4 more people. Then we're going to chill out and stop. And one more. Back to center. Bring the feet to the earth. So what we're going to do for our relaxation, and this is where you can just finish off, is come up towards the wall if you have a wall available. If not, you can just do legs in the air. I'm going to ask you to bring your hips up towards the wall and then pivot with your upper body away from the wall so that your legs, your heels are resting on the wall. So this is legs up the wall. Another thing you can do here is you can bend into your knees and bring your feet together so you have butterfly on the wall, or you can have your feet flat on the wall with the knee bending your knees. But having your feet up here, this feels really supportive after all the abdominals that we've done. The gravity is drawing everything down towards the upper body. And you can close your eyes and chill out here. If you aren't near a wall, you can let your legs hang out up in the air. Have a bend in your knees, and it should be effortless here. It shouldn't be an effort to hold your legs up. So if it feels like an effort to hold your legs up in the air here without any support, then play around with the angle from the hips and the pelvis. And this is where we're going to finish, folks. Stay here for as long as you like. This is great if you've been on your feet all day, been running around. Yeah, you look all great. All right, loves. I'm going to leave you hanging out here. Remember, you're chilling out here. This is not a workout when you've got your legs up in the air here. Okay, so that was week 3. We skipped L-sits in week 3 because they are impossible. I tried them earlier and I nearly killed myself. So we're not going to do L-sits.
What did you just say we skipped?
We skipped L-sits, which is that one there.
Oh, yeah.
That was really hard.
Oh, no,
they were hard. So we might do those in week, I don't know, maybe never.
Week 20.
Week 20. Yeah, we might have to revisit some weeks more than once. I thought we were quite ambitious when we said we're going to do these, each week. We might have to revisit some weeks multiple times.